All right, we're back.
Hey, hey.
What's up?
It's February now.
It's February.
Has
Uh,
the year improved yet?
well, February, first of all, February went so fast. Can we talk
Yeah, I
about it?
know. Compared to January took 8,000 years and now it's
Yes.
already like next week is the last week in February. So now,
Yes.
I mean February is a short month to be fair.
That's
There is
true.
only 28 days,
But still,
but
it's. Mm,
there's 31 days in January, so that was only like 3 more days and January felt like
yes.
it was
Yeah,
like
it felt like it was
1,000
10 years.
years long.
Yes. But hopefully,
Oh.
as the months go on, fingers crossed,
I think
it
it's
looks
just
up a little
winter.
bit.
I think winter
Yeah.
just needs to end. I just
Well,
feel like that's like the worst.
yes, and at work today, it's.
Once Christmas and New Year's are over, I'm just like,
I'm
yeah,
done.
winter needs to
Yeah.
just end. I'm
And,
done with it.
well, near me, there was a bunch of like the wind advisory and everything.
Mhm.
Um, so obviously a lot of power lines were down, and
Yeah.
a lot of trees were down, so I couldn't. Everything was blocked off, so I couldn't get into work on Monday. So I worked from home. Because I knew if I didn't work from home and get anything done, coming back on Tuesday was going to be a nightmare with the amount of text messages and everything else. And I was like, I can't. I'll just work from home. And then today, it's like the afternoon. And I don't know if it's like that near you, but it was flurrying a little bit. And then,
Yeah, we
like,
did get some
it
flurries
was
today.
flurrying,
No,
yeah.
no wind today. There was a lot of wind last weekend,
Yes,
but
yeah.
not today.
But there was like a little bit of flurry. And then I went back to what I was doing. And then, like, a minute later, look out and it's like heavy flurries. And I was like, when did this happen? And then I go back to my work and I look back outside and it's not snowing at all. And then I go back to my work and like I look back out and it's flurrying again. I was like, what is, I don't know what's happening, but like, I mean, global warming's happening.
Yeah,
It's just, I'm
yeah,
like, why? Every time I look out, it's like some other type of weather is just happening. I was like, okay,
yeah. But according to a lot of people, it's not real global
it's
warming.
not real. Nope, doesn't exist.
Backed by science and extensive amount of research, but
Yes,
no, it's not
yep.
real. God.
But aliens and ghosts are. So Area 51, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And of course, I hate when you look at the weather and it like it says right now it's 24 degrees, but it feels like 10.
Love
Excuse me.
that.
And I think were you the one that sent me a
Only
TikTok about it? Or maybe it was our friend Bree, but or it was like, how can you say it feels like 10 degrees? Like if it's 24 degrees, it should feel like 24 degrees.
yeah, right.
And it's like,
Then if it feels my thing is if it feels like for me I'm only 1 degree above you. It feels like 11 where I am.
oh, nice, love that.
But I don't get the feels like you know what I mean? Then if
Yes.
it feels like 11, then wouldn't the temperature just be 11? That's what
Yes.
I don't understand.
That's feels like 10. Well,
Mm.
that's great. But according to outside, it's 24. No.
I mean, it goes I love how it's the one section in the well, if you have an iPhone, the one
Yes.
section of the weather it says feels like 11 degrees and that says actual 24.
Hmm.
Wind is making it feel colder. Cool,
Yes.
then it's 11 degrees in my opinion.
Yes. Then it's not 24 degrees. And then it tells me the lowest feels like temperature will be 6 degrees. All right,
Yeah.
11. Oh, excuse me. But at least the upcoming weeks, it's like mid 40s to early 50s. So,
Yeah. Looks like until next Friday.
yes. And I
And then
love
there's just more snow and I'm like, please stop. I don't
yes.
want the snow. I don't I'm
Yes.
just so over
Mhm.
snow. I don't think snow will be like truly fun again until I like have kids and
I
they can like
know.
experience
I
snow.
was thinking
I
about
don't
that the
think
other
snow will
day.
be
Yeah.
fun anymore because it's fun when you're a little kid, but as you get old, you're like get old. God, when you become an adult, you're just like,
Yes.
okay, I'm just over this.
I just
It's
remember
just
all
cold.
yeah, all the snow days and all it was so much fun. And then
Hmm.
as I got older and it's like go shovel outside and then it's like I'm shoveling in the freezing cold, my hands are cold.
Hmm.
I'm getting like everything's wet It's just gross. I come inside, I'm freezing.
Mhm.
I'm like, no. And then the last time it snowed a lot, and remember I tripped outside and like slipped and fell.
Oh god, yeah.
And like, great, love that for me. So I can't wait until April and March and all that when it starts to get a little bit warmer.
Yeah.
Mm,
Please.
no.
Oh, man.
Yes, it's a lot of people say they'd rather be cold because they can bundle up.
No.
No,
No.
no, no,
Not
I'd rather be, I will, and I enjoy walking, so there are times in the summer, like, I will take a long walk outside for exercise in, like,
mhm.
90-degree weather, like, I do not care.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah,
just
me neither.
let the heat go, bring water
Yeah.
with me and walk, but catch me in this weather outside, ooh, no, mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Even at work, I'm cold, or at home when it's, like, freezing, and I'm like, "This is the worst weather." It just needs to
Yeah.
be 100 degrees outside.
Yeah. I despise winter.
Yeah. But I love
Mm.
Christmas, obviously, and stuff like that aspect of
Yeah.
winter, but the winter weather, no.
Yeah. I'm telling you, once after New Year's, I'm like, see ya. I
Yes.
don't need you anymore.
Yep.
And then I love that meme that's like when fans of winter be like, ah, yes, 4 p.m. and it's just like pitch black outside.
Yes, that's another thing that really bothers me. Leaving work because I work until like 6 or 6:30 depending on how our appointments go for the day, and it's pitch black out,
Mhm.
and I can't see. And then with the
Yeah.
wind and everything happening, there's still some areas that have, like, trees sticking out and this and that, and so it's, like, pitch black, and I'm like, "Hope to God I don't accidentally, like, run over a branch and, ruin my car." I
Yeah.
need it to be the summertime. Isn't when does it start going back to normal?
Uh, I love that going back to
Yeah.
when is this from daylight savings? Oh, that is such good news.
When?
Daylight savings is March 9th. That
Oh,
is beautiful.
oh,
We're almost there. That's sooner than I thought it was gonna be.
yeah.
I thought it was gonna be later in the month. Yeah. Yeah, daylight savings is March 9th. And then we don't go back, well, we don't have daylight savings again until November 2nd.
Oh, beautiful.
That's so good.
Love that.
That's very soon because today is February. Maybe it's good that February is going by fast.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's 2 weeks from this Sunday.
Mhm.
God, something to look forward to. Like,
Yes. Some good news in this world. It's daylight saving soon.
oh my God, and I have more good news. Well, this is related to politics, but I just saw an article that said Mitch McConnell will not seek re-election in
Oh,
2026.
yes,
But maybe there is some good news.
yes, and it was so funny 'cause
Mans has only fallen down the stairs at least 5 times in the last 3 years.
you know, you can only take so much.
His hands are just like there's I just see pictures of him and his hands are just like purple and he's like, I'm fine, just having a stroke mid sentence.
I feel like
Okay,
that's
brother.
how, King Charles is or whatever. What is it, King Charles?
Didn't
Uh,
he die? Didn't he
did he
die?
die?
No,
No, I think he's still alive.
he's still alive. Yeah, I think. I was thinking of I don't even know who I was thinking of. Yeah, King Charles is 76, so
Yes,
I don't
but,
think he's as old as me.
no.
But he's got the thing where his hands are like very swollen to the point where like his rings, like you see, like if you
Yes,
see his hands, like he'll have like I don't know what causes it. People are just like, well, this is karma just from cheating on Diana.
yes,
No, but he just like had like if you see a picture of his hands, literally look like potatoes. Like honestly.
yes, and have you seen that car photo?
Oh
Where
yeah,
where he just looks like he's rough.
yeah,
And so,
yeah.
like, he's definitely seen better days too.
Well, that's what happens when you live in the British monarch and I
Yes.
don't know, you marry your cousins and shit like that.
I'm just
But we get British viewers like, excuse me.
excuse me, they were only third cousins.
No. That reminds me when
No.
I tried to watch that show, The Crown,
Oh,
one
yeah.
time, and then it literally the first few, like, scenes is literally just her, like, Elizabeth just, like, meeting her cousin and, like, married. I'm like, "No, no, I
No, no,
have to
no.
turn it off." And then they tried to make it like it was, like, this romantic thing. I'm like, "No,
No.
please don't do
Like, I
that."
know it's real and it's real life and that's what they're, depicting, but it just
Yeah,
weirds me out.
yeah, but the way they romanticize it, though, I'm like, "Please don't do."
Yeah, no, I couldn't.
Oh, God.
I can't. No. Mm-mm.
Actually, Mitch McConnell is over ten years older than Prince Charles. He's a Prince Charles is a 76 and Mitch McConnell is a 83. So
Oh.
Prince Charles, King Charles, my bad. Sorry, I made him a prince, not a king.
Sorry, he got demoted.
Sorry. Please.
But
Should
every
have him
time
a
I
long
see a
time ago.
picture, like, I don't know what it is, but every time I see a picture of Mitch McConnell, I'm like, "Oh, like, why is he making that face?"
He looks like a tortoise. Tortoise, and not like a, cause not like in like a nice like derogatory. You know how they'll say like you look like this parentheses derogatory.
Yeah.
It looks like a tortoise derogatory.
Yes.
Oh
You know what?
man.
He kind of looks like Franklin.
Don't insult
Oh,
Franklin like
sorry.
that.
My all
To
the
be honest,
Franklin stands are coming at me. Now they're like, "How dare you compare him to the icon that is Franklin?"
I grew up on that. Oh my
Oh,
God,
yeah,
Franklin.
Franklin, man. But he's got
I
that
had
face.
the I no, but I know what you mean because he's got like the way his like mouth like like
Yeah.
that's why people always said he looks like a turtle.
Yes. Yep.
Oh,
Mm,
Franklin is an icon though, unlike Mitch McConnell.
yes. An
I grew up
icon.
on that show.
A
I had their
stan.
I had his like books and
Yep.
everything. That show and Arthur. I had like a set of the
Oh,
books.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep. One of
And
the best.
I got really emotional over the episode or the special where I think Franklin like he like something he has like an injury to like his shell and he has to like get surgery. It's like a whole
Oh,
like serious thing.
I don't
Yeah, I just
remember.
remember.
Oh.
Yeah. Wait, let me see if there's yeah, Franklin the turtle. Yeah, Franklin goes to the hospital. Yep. There's and it was yeah, but it was really cute because it like showed kids about if they have to go like get a surgery done, like, oh, I'm scared, and they're like, oh, it'll be okay. Like it made me so emotional as a child.
Oh. I remember one of my favorite things in Arthur was when they go to the library and they have that whole song about getting a library card.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Mhm. They would randomly have songs in
Yes.
Arthur. Like it wasn't a musical show, but then they would randomly have a song where they were just all like doing like line dances.
Yes. And you're like, "Okay, where did this come
That
from?" And you're like, "All right, well,
uh,
speaking of songs,
yes,
what did we do this weekend?"
we saw the icons that they are, Lou Berger.
Yes. And I feel like
And
they're not known as well as they should be.
no, I mean, like, yeah, and I guess in like the niche, like world of like internet, like parody, like comedy
Yeah.
ish, I guess. And if you're like a Try Guys fan, like obviously you probably do know, like
Mhm.
the fan base between them and Try Guys obviously overlaps because
Yeah.
one of the Try Guys is in Lou Burger,
Yes.
but they are still very underrated. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm looking at their Instagram right now, and they have 500K,
Yes.
which they definitely should have more.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and I don't know if Keith was doing parodies with them before Try Guys. I don't know exactly the lore.
Yeah.
I should know the lore, being the fan that I am. But yeah, they're still pretty underrated. Um, it says in their description that they did audition for America's Got Talent. I do know that.
Oh, yes.
And
Yeah.
it says they're finalists on NBC show called Bring the Funny, which I've never
Oh,
seen.
I feel like I've heard of it, but I don't think
But
I've ever watched it.
I think it was like almost like an America's Got Talent type
Yes.
show, but specifically for finding like stand up and like comedy acts
Yes.
specifically. But yeah, how was that show? That was a riot.
First of all,
It's a good time. It was a
I
good time.
don't know what I was expecting. And like I've seen clips and things on Instagram and YouTube,
Uh-huh.
but like what a show that was.
It was so fun. It
It
was
was
so fun.
so funny.
And and how the venue the venue was so deceiving about how
Oh, yeah.
close the seats were. I don't know if maybe they were, like, they had more of, like, a higher demand and they added more tickets on,
Yeah.
because I had seen even before, even the day of, they were saying, like, "There's still some tickets available." So I don't know if the venue did that last minute and, like, just added, like, extra seats,
Yeah.
but when I had gotten the tickets, the way it definitely made it seem like they're, and for most venues, this is probably the first time I've been so close that I felt like I was on the stage. Like, I
Yes.
literally, if I leaned my arm out, I literally was touching the
Yes.
stage. Like,
But it did not look
but
like that
no,
online.
no, no, not at all, not at all,
Yeah.
not from the seating, not from anything like that. It would literally, it made it seem like there were at least like 5, 6 feet, like maybe even like 10 feet away from the stage. Like how you would think, because I would think there would be, if they need to like walk down. I thought there were like steps that would come down and they would be around. I don't know. It was
Yes.
just, I didn't expect it, and then we just walked in, and it was basically like, um you would either sit next to each other or sit across from each other. And I
Yeah.
was like, well, if you, because I was debating when I was getting the tickets, I was like, well, it would be awkward if you were sitting across from me, because then we'd each be sitting next to like random
Someone we
people. So
don't
I was like,
know. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And it was fine, like, just sitting across from people, like, that's whatever, because we were there together. But I just didn't expect to be that
Yes.
close to the stage.
And when
The
they, like,
speaker was
yeah.
literally next to my shoulder.
Yes. And when they sat us
And I'm
down, I
surprised
was
and I'm
like,
surprised it wasn't as loud. Like,
"No."
I thought I was gonna, like, not have hearing by the end, but I guess they accommodate for the fact that the seats were so close.
Yes. And
But it was
it was
funny. It
so,
was a
and
good
I
time.
didn't realize, and again, this is a comedy show when we're all adults, but, like, how
Mhm.
inappropriate it actually was.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Like
Like,
how
I
many songs they do. Well, because I feel like their Instagram is like really like PG. Like, I feel like they don't
and,
do that.
yeah,
Like, I don't
because Instagram would probably, you have
ban
to,
them.
well, I was gonna say you have to be a certain way on Instagram, but there are plenty of creators out there that show a little too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
But I guess
True.
with, like, cursing and other things, maybe it would be, like, no,
They've
it's,
been posting videos from the show
yeah.
though, like with the different songs.
Yeah, so maybe,
Um,
oh, the one that they posted, um, well, they posted 2, it looks like, but
they posted the Gulf of America one, which
yes,
I feel like they had to make recently, because that whole Gulf of
yes,
Mexico thing with Trump happened recently.
yes,
So I don't
yes,
think that's definitely like, I mean, they're like trained musicians and songwriters, so I feel like if they get an idea for something, they could do a certain song one night and then add a different song on a different night. You know what I mean? So
yes,
I know that song's recent, but they post the other one about like butts.
yeah, but
It
they,
was
yeah,
really
it was like, um, gay guys like butt stuff, um,
so straight guys have the
basically
same
saying,
butts
like, if
then.
gay guys like butt stuff, then straight guys also like butt stuff and butt plugs.
Well, because it's like they have the same butts, so
They
why
have the
would
same
they?
butts. So, like, if gay guys like butts, and butt plugs, then straight guys also like that. And it was so funny.
Oh my god.
And then they had the bit with the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of
Uh-huh.
America.
Uh-huh.
Um, but my favorite, well, and then they brought someone up on stage.
Mhm. That
And,
was funny.
and it was funny because they kept saying, like, who out there thinks they're an attractive man? You know, if you're an attractive
Mhm.
man, stand up. So, of course, like, no one's really standing up. And then the
Yeah.
people next to us at
At first,
first.
but then people started gaining confidence because they were like, they started just hyping everybody. They're like, "Come on, stand up!"
Yes.
Like,
And so the people next to us, the wife
mhm,
was there, and
mhm.
she was pointing at her husband. He's like, "No, no, no. Like, no.
He's like, "Please don't,
Please
like, don't."
don't." And then, she was like, "Nope. You're too late. I see you over there shaking your head. You're an attractive man." And it was so funny. And then they asked if anyone can dance. So, of course, everyone was like, well, they asked any guy that could dance. And, of
Yeah.
course, everyone was like, "No." And this one guy was like, "Yeah, kind of like I did theater."
Mhm.
So, of course, he went up on stage. And he's
Yeah.
like, "We're gonna play a game where like we know the words to the like you don't know the uh words, right? It was like you don't know the music."
Wasn't it like he was like, are you talking about when they brought the guy up and
Yes,
he's like, make a dance for
yes,
us, and we don't know the dance, but we'll just follow you?
yes.
Is that
So
what you're talking
yeah,
about? Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
he was making up a dance for them to follow, but the guy didn't
Uh-huh.
know what the music was or the words were.
Right, 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 right.
Yeah, and
They
so
knew the song.
yes,
They knew the song. He did the dance,
yeah,
right? It's
that was
funny.
really funny. And then they did the bit with the well, they threw a taco piece at me.
Yeah, I know.
Because remember, if
This is a.
it's a recurring thing, I
It
guess.
was tour. It was tortilla.
A tortilla shell. Um,
Yeah.
because they did at the Try Guy show, we got pelted with chicken
Mhm.
nuggets. So
Yeah.
they have
Gritty
a
hit me.
yes.
Gritty hit me with a chicken nugget and it made a welt on my arm.
Oh, good times.
Granted, it was like a very small welt, but I was like, "Ow!" Like when it
And
happened,
also that we were further
I showed
away.
you the right, exactly.
Like we weren't far, yeah.
I was surprised you got hit with a piece of tortilla because
And I
we
have
were
that
so
picture,
close
yeah.
that yeah,
And we
well, because
will
we were
be
so
adding that,
close and
yes.
they're so tall too, so like they were like I feel like for most of the time they were like reaching over where we were
Yes.
anyway.
And they were throwing whole, like, small tortillas, and somehow I got
Mhm.
pelted with just a piece of one tortilla, and
I don't know how it
I
must
don't
have
know.
maybe it hit the back of like a chair and like
Yes.
broke off. I don't
But then I wasn't
know.
thinking about it, and I
Mhm.
forgot that I had my flash on, and
Yeah.
it's not dark in there, but, like, clearly if the flash is going off, they're gonna see it, and so, of course, my
Mhm.
flash went off when I was taking a picture of the tortilla, and I was like, "Great." And
Sorry.
then yes, and then they had the bit where they were singing "Fly Eagles Fly" while eating a Philly
Mhm.
cheesesteak.
Yep.
Love
'Cause you
yes,
gotta. 'Cause you
because
gotta.
we won the Super Bowl, so
Uh-huh. 'Cause you gotta.
yes.
I love
Um,
the, my one of my favorite bits was, when they, got off stage and they were just, like, taking people's stuff.
yes, yep,
Like, they were just like, "I have a bag," like, I just look back and they just have, like, somebody's purses on their shoulder, they're
yes.
like, "Oh, you received a text from so and so, he said
Oh,
no telling who this."
I don't know their names, but I love when he
Mhm.
was like, "Oh, you're getting a text from David," and then she was like, "Yeah, he decided not to come." It's like, "Why didn't you wanna come?" So then he called the guy
Yeah.
and was like,
That
oh,
was
yeah,
Alex, I think
Alex.
we called
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Alex was calling the guy, and he was like, "Hi," and then he was like, "I heard you didn't wanna come to our show tonight." And he's like, It's like, "Why didn't you want"
They put the phone up to the mic.
Yes, and why didn't you wanna come to the show?" I don't really know how to answer that question."
I don't
And then
really
he
know
just
how
hung
to
up. Well, no, the guy didn't hung up, Alex hung up on him.
yeah, and he was like, "Oh, okay."
Okay,
Just
but
I
that was
wonder if the guy
funny.
realized that he was talking to the person. Like,
Yes.
I don't know if he was just like, "Oh, it's just some guy that called me."
Yeah, I wonder if he even knew who he
Like, who
was,
it was that
like,
he
who it
was
was on the
talking
phone.
to.
And it's probably just some random
Oh,
guy,
man.
and he's like, "Okay, I don't know who that is." But my favorite well, they did the song about dicks.
Uh-huh.
Great,
They
great, love
had
that.
songs just
Body
about
parts.
any body part you can
But my favorite the dick one was funny.
imagine.
I don't have a dick though, so maybe, this
Maybe
is
that's
what
why you're
it's not as funny as the vagina one, but it's
Uh-huh.
so funny to me because they did a song about vaginas to the tune of "Hey Jude" by the Beatles, and
Yep.
it's it was the funniest thing. I mean, all of the songs are funny, but that one I was and they do the "na na na na," so, like, they're getting
Uh-huh.
everyone in the audience to do that song, and then just instead of "Hey Jude," they're just saying "vagina," and I'm like, "This is the
Yep.
funniest."
And I think that's what they ended the show with,
Yes, it
right?
was the last
Yeah,
thing they
'cause
did was
yeah, because Hey Jude is known for, like, being at the end of things. Like, a
yes,
lot of times that with, like, Beatles things, like, that would be the song that would close
yes,
the
yep,
so that's why they closed the show with that
yes, because
song.
you get all hyped up, and then the ending is, like, slowed down, and you're all
Uh-huh.
just clapping, saying, "Hey Jude." So it's like the end,
Mhm.
and he was like, "Alright, we're gonna sing this part, and you're gonna sing this part," and then it's like all together. and they're just singing
And then it's
vaginas.
just
Yep.
there's just a room of people just singing "Vagina"
Yes.
to the tune of "Hey Jude."
And I wonder, like
I don't wanna get a copyright strike here, so
yes, yes, and I always wonder when it comes to comedy shows like this, the people that
Mhm,
work at this venue, like, I do wonder because, like, the Try Guys was one thing, it's like eat the
mhm,
menu. Obviously,
mhm,
they're doing their bits and their comedy stuff and eating the food. So, like, you know what to expect. Like, imagine you're like,
yeah,
"Oh, you're working today, and it's, this comedy trio
yeah.
band, and it blah, 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 and you're gonna be doing this, and you're gonna be working at the bar," and you're just sitting there, and they're just singing about vaginas to the tune of "Hey Jude." Like, imagine that's what you get to tell people you did today at work. Like, it
Yeah.
was so funny. I
Oh,
can't.
man. I
Now
can't imagine maybe they are used to it though, because who knows what acts they've seen, like, throughout the years and
that's
stuff,
true.
like, they've had,
Yeah.
like they have different kind of, like, drag brunches and just about everything like, there's a
Mhm.
lot of different comedy acts that come to that show, and they do, like I'm pretty sure I don't know if it was I think, not the Try Guys podcast, but somebody I think, in the circle of Try Guys people, like, I think, Kelsey Darragh had a live show for her podcast there, so, like, they've probably seen, like, outlandish
Yeah.
shit there before. But, that would be just funny, they're just like, can you imagine just being, like, back in the kitchen, and then you just walk out to like, your
Yes.
shift is done
Yeah, yeah,
because they had a
imagine you're
last
like you're
they
the
had a last
server.
call. Yeah,
Yep.
because they had a last call for, like, the bar and, like, getting the foods and everything. So imagine you, like, work the kitchen and you're like, "Oh, okay, that's the last call," and you're, like, done and cleaning up or going to the bathroom, you just walk out the door, you just hear vagina.
Yes, or the yeah. It's like or the song about dicks too, and you just walk out and they're like, "Yeah, when they're taking a bath," and you're like, "Okay, here's your
Oh, yeah,
fries,
that song
sir."
about the when guys take a bath and
Yes. And then you
Oh,
imagine,
man.
like, you walk out there and you're just like, "Okay, here are your fries, sir." And they're just
Did
saying when
did
guys take a bath, and you're like, "And here's your drink."
did you ever see that meme? I think it's from Cat Dog, where it's the little mouse that lives with them, and he just walks out of the door,
Yes, and then
and he's
he walks
doing
back.
some
Yep.
crazy shit, and he walks back, and he's, "Alright." That's
Alright,
the
yep.
people who are working at the venue, they're just like, "What's going on?" And then,
They
"Alright," and
they
he just
hear it
goes
and they're
back.
like, "Okay." And they just walk back. Yes.
That's the staff
Yes,
at the
that's how
venue
I
that we
imagine
were
those that's how I imagine those things. Like, there's no
at.
way. Like,
I feel like that's probably how people were at the Trivia show
yes.
too. They're just like, okay, Gritty's on stage. Okay, they're throwing chicken nuggets everywhere.
Yes.
God, we're gonna have to sweep up chicken nuggets
Oh,
off the
yeah.
floor.
Or even, like, when you
Uh,
do, well, trolley problems, like, this
mhm,
the trolley problems was mild compared to what they can do, but, like, when you see the clips on
yeah,
Instagram for some of the
mhm,
stuff that they do for trolley problems, I'm like, imagine doing those topics at a live show and then walking
yeah.
out to
They
serve
can
someone
never.
their, like, food or seat them, and they just have a trolley problem, and you're like, "Oh."
Yeah, it was very smart to make the trolley problems be catered to each city.
Yes.
I mean, it's still in our show. It still ended up in Gritty throwing a cake at someone's face
Yes.
twice. So, but
And he
compared
got
to what they do
married.
on the yes, that's why there was a cake. It was a wedding cake. No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
I don't know. I just think he was gonna throw a cake either way. But Gritty's and like I about to say Gritty's just following that. Who's that DJ that would, like, throw cake at people?
Oh, yes. Yep.
Steve Aoki. Oh man, nuts, insane.
Yes. It was so funny.
Ugh. And then the day before, I mean, it's not as outlandish as the Lou Burger show, but the day before we took my niece to go see Disney on Ice, which
Oh,
I
how
hadn't
was that?
seen since I was a kid. It was cute. It was cute. It was just specifically Frozen and Kanto. So it
Oh,
wasn't
nice.
like I
Yeah.
mean they at the end in between like Mickey and Minnie, Donald
Oh,
Duck
yeah.
and Goofy do
Yeah.
come out, and then at the end they do have some princesses, but it was what I expected for Frozen, but, I had never seen Encanto, so that was literally, like, the first time I
Oh,
had,
yeah, I've
I
never
knew
seen
the
it either.
songs, like, I knew the "We Don't Talk About Bruno"
Yes.
song and
Yeah.
a couple other things, but I never knew the story, um, but half of it they added, like I don't remember this being in Disney on Ice because I used to go when I was a kid, like, my mom used to take me, but they added in, like, acrobatics and stuff. Like,
Ooh.
there's one scene where, like, um, we saw, like, a harness coming down, and we were like, "What's going on? Like, what's
Yeah.
going on?" And then, 2 of the actresses were literally just, like, flying, like, through the air, and I
Oh,
was like,
no,
"This
that would
is
freak me
this
out.
is this is crazy." I mean, they probably come from, like, the background
Oh,
training, or
yeah.
maybe they have done, like, Cirque du Soleil or something else
Yes.
similar, I would assume.
Yep.
But,
But I've never seen Disney
yeah, I didn't
movies, but
expect
I
that at
see
all.
clips on it, and it looks really cool.
It was cute. I
For,
mean, they're
like, a
very
kid?
talented.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very cute.
Yes. And
My niece was
then
having a
oh,
great
and then
time.
so the other topic for today is something that it reminded me of Lou Burger, because
Mhm,
Alex from Lou Burger is also on the React channel. Um,
mhm,
and I see this all the time, and I thought it'd be really funny to try it out. But they do all these challenges. It's like try not to sing this, or try not to eat, or all these other challenges. And so sometimes they do, um, like guess the song in 1 second, and then it will be like they'll have one song. It will be like guess the song in 1 second, guess the song from the lyrics, guess the song from like the
mhm,
bad AI like description, or bad AI art and stuff like that. And so I wanted to see if we can guess each other's. We picked two movies,
mhm,
and we're gonna try and guess each other's movies based on the bad AI description
mhm.
of each movie. And we made sure it was movies
Okay.
that we both knew.
Yes.
Otherwise, it'd just be confusing. Um,
Yeah, right.
so do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. Okay. Let's see. So the description is a bunch of grown women act like immature teenagers while all trying to be the best friend of one person being celebrated. There's a lot of yelling, food poisoning,
Oh
and a
yes,
weirdly intense competition over party planning.
I one of my well, it's a great one of my favorites.
I think you
Bridesmaids.
know it. Yeah.
Bridesmaids. I mean, I didn't know it at first until you said food poisoning, and then I got it.
Food poisoning is
Yep.
definitely what that was
Yeah,
the one
that
part
got
that did give it away.
and it's so funny. It's one of
Mhm.
those movies that I overwatched so much that I got bored of it, but now I can
Yeah.
watch it again, and it's just so funny. But
Yeah.
the thing I remember most about that movie, well, the whole just Melissa McCarthy in general,
Mhm.
but
Icon.
icon, legend, we love her. Kristen Wiig, icon. But I love
All
when
of
the
them.
yes,
All of them.
all of
Everybody
them.
in that
Oh yeah,
movie.
because everyone, yep. But in
Yeah, because that a couple of them weren't as well known
no,
then, and then they went on to
because
do more stuff, like the girl in, like, Kimmy Schmidt,
yeah,
and
I forget
then
her name, but yes, and she was in The Office, I guess too, right?
oh, yeah.
But I never
Mhm.
watched The Office.
And of course Queen, Maya Rudolph, oh my god,
Mm-hmm.
icon.
Maya Rudolph. All
Beyonce, no.
yes, all of these scenes. So first of all, one of my favorites. They're on the plane, and Helen gives Kristen Wiig's character Annie drugs to calm her down because she's
Mhm.
like nervous, and she's sitting next
Yeah.
to somebody else who's also nervous. So like that doesn't help. And she's not in first class. And Helen offered to like get her a ticket for first class, but she declined because they were beefing the entire movie, right? So she's
Yeah.
obviously going to decline first
It was
class.
it was it was it was, prideful, but at the same time, she was like, "Oh, I don't want her to." She probably thought that if I accept this, then she's gonna have this over me that she got
Yes.
me this first class ticket, which, you
So
know.
like if they beef or say something, she'll be like, "Oh, but remember when I bought you that first class ticket?"
Yeah, yeah.
And then but she declined the first class, so she's sitting in coach. But she comes up and sits next to this random guy, and she has her sunglasses on. Clearly, she's on whatever drug she was given. And the guy's like, "All right, ma'am, you don't have a seat up here. Like, you have to go sit down." And she's like, "It's not me." And it's like, "Ma'am,
It's not
it's
me.
you. You're just wearing a pair of sunglasses." And she's like, "It's not me. I'm Mrs. Iglesias." And then, like,
It's not me.
so she, like,
It's not
gets,
me, I'm Mrs.
yes, so
Iglesias.
she has to go sit back down, but then she comes back up. And then like again, jokes that you can't make now, but she makes the joke a Hitler joke because she puts her fingers up to her like right under her nose, and
Welcome to Germany.
yeah, she's like a fetus and asshole. But like you cannot make that joke now. But it's so
No.
funny. And then when she goes back on the plane to like coach, and you have like the curtain that needs to be open so the stewardess people can like keep going in and out. Um, but she's like, "This is civil rights. This is the '90s. This should be open."
It's not. You're in the
It's
wrong
not.
decade.
You're in the wrong
You
decade.
are.
And then
You
also,
are.
yeah,
Okay, I
yeah,
am.
oh yeah, okay. And then when
Okay, I
his
am.
yeah, and his name tag says Steve, she's like, "Okay,
Stove.
Steve, are you an appliance?" Yeah,
And then
because she
she goes,
calls him Stove.
from stove. Yeah.
"Are you an appliance?" And then
No, I'm a
obviously,
man.
yeah.
You're a flight attendant.
Mhm.
That's accurate.
The whole plane scene is just so funny. And then obviously you have the scene in the plane where she's sitting next to the lady, and because she's on drugs, she like looks out and she thinks there's a colonial woman out there. And then she's like, "There's a colonial woman on," and she's like using the speaker that all the airline people use, and she's like, "There's a colonial woman on the plane, on the wing of the plane. I saw her. She's churning butter." Just it's so the whole movie, the whole scene, and then you have Melissa
It's like,
McCarthy. And what I love, because every Melissa McCarthy movie, her husband's in it somewhere.
mhm.
Even if he's
Yeah.
not like a major character, he's just like some random guy at the bar, but like they'll show him.
Sometimes he directs her. Sometimes
Sometimes,
he'll
yep,
be like a director in a movie that she's in.
yes. And
Or like a
so,
producer who'll write it,
yeah.
or she does like they work collaboratively a lot together, which is very cute.
Hmm. And she's sitting next to her husband on the plane, and his name is John. And she keeps saying that, oh, he's an air marshal. And he's like, I'm not an air marshal. And she's like, okay, not Air Marshal John. Do you want to go to the restroom and not rest? And he's like, no. And then like he goes to the bathroom by himself. And when he comes out, she puts her leg up so he can't move. And she's like, "Do you feel that steam? It's coming from my
Which is
undercarriage."
but would I don't know if it was kudos to Melissa McCarthy if that wasn't like an edit because how if you stand straight up and that's hard with
Yes.
how like to put your leg
Yes.
like
Yes.
uh, like I don't know if it was edited or not,
I don't
but
know,
like if
but
it was
yes.
if
If that was
who knows,
not,
but if it was kudos to her.
it was, oh, that whole entire movie. And then we're trying on dresses,
Mhm.
and they got the food poisoning, like the description says. And then they go into
Yeah.
the most expensive dress shop, and of course she had to like shit herself, so she's going to the bathroom, but the one girl's throwing up, so she like shits in the sink. And she's like, "It's coming out of me like lava."
That's that's why you have your bathroom decor.
Yes, I do. I have bathroom decor, which keeps falling. I gotta fix it. But I have bathroom decor. The one picture is Melissa McCarthy shitting on the sink in Bridesmaids, and then the other
Mhm.
picture is one of the Wayne brothers. I forget which one. In White Chicks, shitting in the bathroom.
Also
Yes. Also,
and it's like
that's
these black and white, like,
oh
very, like,
yes,
picturesque,
very
like
like what very intricate. Like you would see this in your bathroom, and at first glance, you probably wouldn't notice what it is until you like look at it. It's
yeah.
so funny.
Oh,
Great
man.
movie, great watch. Let
10 out of 10.
me, yes, 10 out of 10. So here's at
I
the,
feel like they should little aside before you
oh
go
yes,
into yours,
yes,
I really think that when I don't know if it's been 10 years since the movie came out, but maybe at some point, I would really love to see them make a sequel to that
yes,
movie.
mm-hmm,
Like, see, like, where their lives are now.
yes. Like did
That would be
Helen and
so
Annie, oh, and the one scene too, because I keep having to go back to all the funny parts, but in the one scene where Annie
this is one of the
finally,
best movies of all time,
yes,
easily.
it's so like, it's just so funny. And so I
Yeah.
love when they're at the bridal shower, and
Mhm.
it's at like Helen's house or wherever it is, but it's at this fancy place.
Mhm.
And Annie finally goes off on Helen.
Crash
Yes,
out, as they say
yes.
now.
About how like, oh,
The definition of
Paris.
a crash
Yeah.
out.
And
She's
like,
crashing out that entire movie, to be
yes,
honest.
yes. And where her life's in shambles, and she
Yeah.
got kicked out and she lost her job, and
Mhm.
so like understandable. And then she had to move in with her mom.
True.
Very understandable. But she's like
Yes.
going off on Helen, the whole, oh, Paris, Paris, you wouldn't even know about the whole Paris thing if I didn't even, tell you about that. And she's yelling at her
Mhm.
friend. So then her and Maya Rudolph's character are going at it outside, and they're just yelling, and Annie's yelling about her like getting her asshole bleached. And she's like, "And you
Get
got
your
your
head out of
asshole
get
bleached."
your head get your get your head out of her asshole, which I'm sure is perfectly bleached. And then she goes, "It sure is. You wanna know how I know? Because
Cause
I
I
went
got
to
my
the
asshole
fucking
bleached
salon
too.
with her."
Yes.
And I no, I love when she screams, "And I love my new asshole." It's like, "Okay, girl."
Yes, go off. But also,
And
do
then
you
she
need your
goes to
asshole
knock
bleached?
the cook, and then she knock
Oh yeah.
Hey,
And there's like this
hey,
giant, yeah.
it's your asshole, you do what you want.
Yes,
You know?
yeah. And Melissa McCarthy, and of course, like one of the parting like gifts that you get for leaving the party is like a puppy. And
Mhm.
so Melissa McCarthy like took multiple puppies, and you can
I took
like there's a
9. I
scene,
took
yeah,
9.
and you see a scene where she's driving and there's like 9 puppies in the back. When she goes to visit Annie at her mom's house, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I just got a few. Yeah, I took 9. I took 9.
She goes, I
I
took 9," and she brings them all to Annie's house. She's
yes."
like, "Heal, and we're healing, and we're"
And I love, I think she says, and I would have been okay with 8, or maybe she said 6, but she basically was like, "Yeah, I could have been okay, but 9, yeah."
But how many I know we keep going off on this one movie, but how did she steal 9? Because wouldn't that have been other people's party favors? So, like, people were
Maybe
leaving.
it's one of those things where it's like, as
Maybe some
much
people were
as
allergic, I don't know.
yeah,
I
and
don't
as
know.
much fun as that would be to have, I probably wouldn't have not taken it myself.
No, no.
As much as I would have loved to, because I
Uh-huh.
love puppies, but, like, I probably wouldn't have
A
even taken
lot
it.
of responsibility, though.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
yes.
Dogs are a lot of responsibility.
Yes, and puppies are, and no, you've really gotta be careful too, and get
Yeah.
vaccinated and everything, like, that's a lot.
Mhm.
But I have my first movie, and I
Okay.
have to, like,
Go for it.
there are certain, I'll have to word it. I think there's certain phrases in here that will give it away, so we'll see. It's about a group of teenagers who decide to play a weird game of who can get killed by a masked guy the fastest. They hang out in a house, make dumb decisions, and talk on the phone a lot. There's a guy in a mask who kills people, but they never really figure out why, except maybe he just likes killing. There's a lot of yelling, running around, and people tripping over stuff. And at the end, there's a big twist that's mostly just confusing. Basically, it's a slasher film where people scream a lot.
That's gotta be Scream,
Uh huh.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's gotta be Scream.
Yes. But it was one of those. It's a classic horror film.
Yeah, and I've only seen the first one.
Yes, me
I'm
too.
very much behind on the franchise.
Well,
But
because there's one with,
now they're up to like what, 7? Something like that.
I think so.
And then Sydney left, and then now she's coming back, and then apparently now what's his name is coming back.
Yes, Matthew Lillard.
He's yeah, Matthew Lillard's not dead. Everybody thought he was dead, and he's not.
Yes. And
Which I'm
so,
like,
yeah,
huh?
I've never seen, I don't, maybe I saw the second one at some point, maybe. The only one I
Oh no,
remember
no,
is the first
I
one.
did watch. No, I did watch the second one because it was playing at we were at a Halloween party at someone's house and it was playing. So I have seen the first 2, I believe, in like the first 5 minutes of like the third one. But I need to watch it like again.
Yes. And of course, we have the icon, Drew Barrymore.
Yes,
Love
which
her.
that was such a big slay because they literally put her on all of the marketing and she was like the face of it and then
Yes.
she got killed off in like the first 5 minutes.
Yep.
So when people went to go see it, they were like, "What?"
Yeah, and Courtney Cox is in it, right? The first one, and
Oh yeah,
then
yeah,
Matthew Lillard,
yeah.
and
That's how she
what's,
met her, and that's how she met her husband. Well, they're divorced now, still in on good terms, I hear. But that's how she met David Arquette. They met through that
oh,
movie.
yes, yep,
Yeah, because she was married to and I believe she had a kid with him, the guy who plays the cop,
yes,
Dewey.
yep. Yeah, David Arquette,
So see,
yeah, yeah,
sometimes a mass killer can bring together
yes.
relationships.
Yeah. So there is 7. Yep.
Yeah, because they recently announced, is there 7 already out, or is the newest one gonna be 7? I
The
think
newest
it's
one
gonna
is
be.
coming out in 2026.
Okay.
So the last one came out in 23. And that's the
Mhm.
one that pretty sure that's the one that has what's her face in it? Jenna Ortega's in one of them, right?
She was in a couple of them.
Yeah.
I think she was in, like, the last 2,
Yeah.
I wanna
Yeah,
say.
so they're directed by the same people. So I think she's in both of those. Um
Okay.
so
Yeah, because
maybe
the original director that started it, I'm pretty
did the
sure he
first.
passed away. Like, Wes Craven, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure he passed away.
Yep. Yeah, in 2015.
Yeah, he used to do he did, the original Nightmare on Elm Street movies too.
Oh, those
Which
are
is funny
good.
because he's yeah, I've never seen it, but, I saw the only Nightmare on Elm Street movie I've seen is, like, the remake one that they did
Oh yeah.
in, like, 2010 or 2012 or something, but I've never seen the original
I'm gonna
ones,
have
but
to see
it's
because
funny
Johnny Depp
'ca
is in it.
yeah, yeah, I know, I remember. But, it's funny because in the first Scream, little fun fact, but, there's, like, a janitor in the first Scream movie, and he's, like, wearing, like a fedora hat and, like, a striped, like, sweater, and it is the director, and
Oh,
he's parroting Freddy Krueger
that I
in
never
Scream.
realized that. That's cool.
Yeah, 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 I mean, next time you watch it back, yeah, I think the director in the first couple of ones, like, makes, like, a cameo, kind of
Yes.
like how they would, put, what's his name from Marvel in, like, the
Oh, Stanley always did that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I know
That's a good
Stephen King did that in It Chapter 2. He was like the
oh,
bookshop
yeah.
or like the owner of whatever store that was.
Uh-huh.
I love when you see little things like that. Um,
Mhm.
or even in the Marvel movies where other characters are referenced
Oh, yeah.
and stuff like
Love
that.
a
I'm
good
like,
cameo.
yeah. Because well, you saw Deadpool and Wolverine, right?
Mhm. Yep. It
Um,
was so funny. It
yes, it
was
was
so
so
funny.
funny. And there was the scene where they're driving to the other place and you see Chris Evans. Like when they showed Chris Evans, I thought, "Oh, it's going to be Captain America."
Now that they
Um,
had him beat Johnny's store.
yes, yes. And I was like, "Oh my god." We were watching it at home and it came on. I was like, "Oh my god." There's
Which I
no
wonder if
way. I
there's
was
people
like,
that saw that which I wonder if there's people that saw that movie that didn't even know that he was Johnny
"Oh,
Storm. 'Cause that was so long
yes.
ago. That was 2 versions of Fantastic
Yes."
Four ago, because
Mhm.
they had one in 2015, and then they only have the newer one that's coming out this year.
Yes.
That was,
Mhm.
like, 2 versions ago of it.
Yes. But things like that I just love. And I love Scream because it paved the way for all the scary movies.
True, true.
And oh, those movies are
And I
so
think
funny.
Scream really, Scream set a lot of, like, precedents for, like horror, like comedy,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
because it makes fun of itself, and then now there's so many other movies that do that.
Oh, yes. And now I feel like I need to go back and watch all the other Screams,
Mhm.
um, especially the newer ones with Jenna Ortega in it. But
True.
it's a classic. Everyone loves it. I don't know anyone that doesn't love Scream.
'Cause it's good.
Yes, it's so good.
That's why I guess that's why they feel the need to just keep making them. Like,
Yes. But at some
and
point, you
there's, like,
have to
sport
think, like, is it necessary?
Yeah, but I
Because
think
all
they thrive off of, like, the ridiculousness of it,
yes.
so,
Because
honestly,
it's
like,
all
people, like, expect it to be ridiculous.
yeah, and Reaction also does, like, the box office beatdown game, and they have 2 teams, and it's basically they just go head to head and answer, like, a bunch of questions related to a
Huh.
certain genre of, like, uh, movies and stuff, and so sometimes they'll do, like, a math problem. It'll be like, "Okay, the number of Scream films plus the number of, like, Freddy Krueger movies minus the number of Halloween movies, and then you have to guess the answer. And sometimes it'll be like, okay, there's 7 Scream and like 11 Nightmare on Elm Streets or whatever, and you're like 11. At some point, no, that's too much.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, they did
it,
that with Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th because they had
yes,
one point. I don't know if it was for both of them, but one of them had like a 3D movie
yes,
in like the 90s,
yeah,
when 3D was still the like the red and blue, like
yes.
3D.
Oh, and the old paper ones. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Imagine seeing one of those movies in 3D. I think I would
Yeah.
have a heart attack. Feeling like
Why
I'm
don't
getting
they make
or
horror
four.
movies in
Imagine it in like 4D, like one of those scary movies. Man, I saw the newer Top Gun in 4D, and let me tell
like
you.
4D, like where the
Oh,
seats like move? Have you ever been to a 4D,
oh yes,
like 4DX movie?
yes. And so Top Gun, the newer one, had Miles Teller in it.
I'm like,
Oof, ooh,
yeah,
yes, we love. And
what up?
it's 4D, so obviously, you know, there's mist when like he was on his motorcycle driving past like the ocean, and so it was windy, and so there was a little bit of mist and stuff like that. But then the scenes where he's driving or flying the airplane and spinning and doing stuff, like the seats are moving. And I swear, maybe it's because I don't weigh a lot. I felt like I was gonna fly out of my seat. I was holding on for dear life. Like everyone else is probably just straight chilling in their seats, and I'm like holding on. Like, no, I don't think I could. I don't know if I could do another one.
That's insane.
I mean, it is cool though, but if you get motion sickness, no.
Yeah, I feel like that would be insane.
Yeah.
Oh my god. No, you know what would be insane? It'd probably be mean. No, you tell somebody you're just, oh yeah, we're gonna go to the movies, and you don't tell them it's a
Yes.
14 movie. That would be so mean.
Like even 3D,
Where's
like
the water?
even 3D movies get
Uh
me
huh.
now.
I can't do
Like,
the it's the glasses. I can't do the glasses.
like,
Well, because it's always awkward, but because I don't really wear contacts, so like the
oh yeah,
glasses over my glasses is annoying. But because I remember we almost made the mistake when we were going to Wicked, we almost got the tickets in 3D, and I was like, no, no, no.
no, no, no.
Well,
Yes,
because it gives me a headache.
it
I've
does.
never I've never come out of because now the 3D glasses are different. Now they're just like they basically just make them look like a black rimmed glasses, and they're just like really like
Yes.
thick
Yep.
to like hold like the lens. But I've never come out of a 3D movie and not had a headache. I
Yes.
think the last one that I was able to tolerate was when I was a kid and we saw my mom took me to see a Spy Kids 3D. I think was the last time
Oh,
I was able
nice.
to like handle,
Yes.
but I think that was still it was a different format. I think that was still the red and blue. The
Probably.
red and blue 3D I was fine. I don't know if it was just getting older or
Yes.
just a different format. I have no idea,
Yep.
but
It's rough.
God,
I
do
saw.
you wear glasses for the 4DX or no?
I think we did.
Okay, okay. See, that would be a
I can't
problem for me.
remember
It's
if we
just the
did, but
glasses. The motion, maybe I'd be okay, but it's
the
just like the
motion, like,
actual like
yeah. And then
God, Top
the
Gun Maverick. That
Top
was
Gun Maverick
insane.
4D, the
Was
seats,
there wind? Was there wind too?
yeah, there was like mistiness when they were like when he was on his
That's wild.
motorcycle, and
Uh-huh.
it was moving a lot for when he was flying the airplane. So I made sure that I ate my food as quickly as I could because like I
Oh
can't
my
keep that on
god.
my lap. And like, what about your drinks? And I'm like, oh my god. So
That's
I
wild
put
that
my
they
drink.
still that's wild that they still offer food, just popcorn flying all over the place and
Like,
shit.
I guess it's up to you if you wanna order it because it's just a regular movie
Right.
theater anyway. And
Right,
obviously,
right,
like, you're
right.
at the movies, I wanna get the popcorn and I wanna get my nachos, but,
Mhm.
the last movie I saw in 3D was recently. I saw Moana 2.
Oh, was it
Uh,
good? I haven't seen it.
it's I love the movie, and my niece likes
Cute.
it now, and she's
Yeah.
obsessed, so she has, like, 4 different Moana,
Oh.
dolls. And she's always
Oh.
asking to watch Moana. Um,
Oh.
but again, the 3D movie, like, movie itself was fine, but my eyes were hurting afterwards. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, I feel like I can't, if you take off the 3D glasses, you can't watch the
Yeah.
movie because it's impossible. Like, it's distorted. So you have to wear the
Yeah, it
glasses.
looks different.
Yes.
It looks like there's, like, a weird well, they put, like, the filter over it,
Yes.
so you can't.
Yeah. And then so you need the glasses for to see it properly, but then the glasses give you the headache and your eyes hurt.
Yeah, not for me.
And I was sick
Not for
still.
me.
I was like getting over my sickness at that point, and so I had to cough
Oh
multiple
god.
times. And I'm like, I'm
Oh, no.
coughing into like my sleeve. I'm like, this person next
Mhm.
to me probably thinks I'm like have COVID or something. So I had to like keep getting up
Yeah.
and going out of the theater just to like, when you keep coughing and you can't stop coughing.
Yeah, right, so you just
I would
have to walk
have
out of the room.
bouts of like
Especially
coughing.
in a movie theater,
Yes,
that's, like, the number one place you don't wanna be coughing.
yes. And so I
Ugh.
got up like 2 or 3 times and just went outside into the lobby and like hacked a lung out and then came back. And I was like, this is too much.
Oh,
Oh
man.
my god.
God.
What's your second description? Let's see if I
Okay. So I don't know. Maybe this one. I don't know. I tried to pick ones that weren't as obvious, but we'll see. Okay. It's good. It's gonna be a good discussion of this movie, no matter what, because it's classic. Okay. So a lonely woman with zero boundaries lets a bunch of people throw parties in her basement, but then gets mad when they don't want to be her best friends. Instead of moving on like a normal person, she goes full psycho, stalks them,
Yeah.
and turns her house into a nightmare version of an after school special. Also, there's a weird amount of focus on a sewing machine.
I absolutely first of all, I like it was like a lonely woman. I'm like, "Who's lonely?" And then you're like, "Oh, and she invites a bunch of people over." I'm like, "Ah, ma, ma."
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. We saw
so
that.
good.
We saw that in theaters.
Yes, we did.
Yep.
Yes, we did.
Um,
And it was, and I was not prepared
it
for
was
where it
yeah, it
went.
wasn't for anything special. I think we just saw Octavia Spencer and we were like, "Oh, we wanna see that."
Hmm.
I don't think it was like for your we didn't see that for your birthday, right? I don't think we did.
Maybe Bree's birthday.
Yeah, or we just
Maybe
wanted
Bree.
to
I
see
don't
it.
know. Or we
But
just wanted to go. I don't know.
but first, it's such a good film. It's
It
so
gets so unhinged by the end, though.
yes.
Like, she's very scary by the end, like,
So
it
is
starts off
she
being ridiculous when she's, like, FaceTiming them and she's like, "Don't let me drink alone," like that meme, like, "Don't
yes.
let her drink." But by the end, it's, like, pretty fucking scary and sadistic, like, that one scene when they're, like, all trapped in the basement. Doesn't she end up, like, cutting someone's face or, like, something very creepy,
Yes.
like, people are, like,
Yeah.
chained up, like, somebody's got, like, paint on their face, like, I gotta watch it
Yes.
again because I don't remember, but I remember at the end, I was, like, getting disturbed, I was like, "Please let this be done with."
Yes.
It was good,
Yeah,
but it was very disturbing towards the end
and
because
she
then you
doesn't
realize, "Oh, yeah, this lady is crazy."
and the
Like,
thing is, she doesn't work at the school, right? It's not like
no.
she wasn't
I don't
someone's
even
like
remember.
no, I think she's just like you said, and even the description on Google, a lonely middle-aged woman. Like, she wasn't part of the school. It's not like she was the janitor where you could be like, "Oh, you talk to the kids enough where they know you and you're, like, befriending them
Doesn't she,
that
like,
way."
pretend to be somebody's, like, mom or
I
something or
think
teacher or
so.
something? She makes some type of lie because even random teenagers wouldn't be like, or, like, maybe they were just swayed by the fact that she's like, "Oh, I'll buy alcohol or something." I don't remember how she makes the connection with them and they actually end up going to her
Yes,
house.
it's because
I
she agrees to buy
maybe
them
they're just
alcohol,
some
I think.
kids that wanna drink.
Yes.
I think that's what it is, and then she's like, "Oh, well," like, she overhear like, 'cause she does end up stalking them and stuff, and she
Yes.
figures out that they wanna drink and they, like, have nowhere to drink or something like that,
Yes. And so I think she
and she's like,
stalks the
"Party at
school
Ma's."
enough. Yes. And she stalks the school long enough to overhear their conversations, I guess, about wanting to drink. And, like,
Mhm,
obviously, they can't get caught at their own houses. So I guess
mhm,
and I think part of it's probably, like, she was mistreated as a kid and in grade school and high school, so, like, she didn't have any friends to do things with. But on Google, it
yeah.
says Obviously, she invites them to party in her basement, but there's some house rules. So one kid's sober, you can't curse, and you can't go upstairs ever. And the only other rule that she has along with those is that they have to call her ma, which is like weird. So first of all, maybe it's just me. They teach you as a kid, don't go to a stranger's car, like don't go home with a stranger like that. And you're in high school and someone's like, "Yeah, just party in my basement
Yeah,
for some
safe.
alcohol." And then obviously she gets very obsessed.
Mhm.
This is what began as a teenage dream turns into a terrorizing nightmare. It,
Mhm.
it goes from the best place in town to the worst place on earth. But I think after the first time, well, I would not have gone at all. But even if I went the first time, I would be kind of weirded out to go back. Like, great, fine, you
Yeah,
invite
I mean,
us for the alcohol,
no,
but
I don't
s
know, maybe I underestimated how quote unquote smart I was in high school, but I wouldn't have gone in the
yes.
beginning. I don't know.
I
I guess
mean,
they're just portrayed as these very like naive, like suburban kids,
yes.
and then they just see her as like a mom, like a mom figure now.
Yes.
Like a mom, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they almost see her probably as like, oh, she's like a next door neighbor or something. Isn't she one of the kids? I need to figure out. I need to watch it again because I need to figure out because this is if she's just some random lady she's got to forge some type of connection
Yeah.
to just get them to go. Because like I don't know if she's somebody's neighbor or she's like poses as something at the school. It's not at the school, but like she must do something to like
Yes.
get them to be like. Because if they just know her as some random ass person, I don't know if it's just that she buys them alcohol. It's got to be something else there.
Yeah.
I gotta do a rewatch and report back.
Yeah, so it
I just remember it
says
being a wild ass movie.
so it
What year did
says,
that come out?
2019 in May.
What year did you?
2019.
Yeah.
So it says a
Okay.
teenager, Maggie, moves in with her mother, um, in Ohio after Erica's husband leaves her. So she befriends all these people, um, who immediately develop a crush on her. They convince Sue Ann, which is Ma, a vet tech. So she's just a random vet tech. Um, they convince Ma to help them buy alcohol because they're obviously not old enough to buy it themselves. Um, Sue Ann anonymously reports their activities, but they are released because of the officer's history with one of the kids' fathers. The next day, Sue Ann invites the teenagers to drink in her basement. Over time, many of the teenagers arrive at her house to party, making it popular among the students. So she's just some random lady that was just hovering around a high school. And then,
Well,
Ma. And then when they ask her to buy alcohol, she reports them to make it seem like they're
oh,
gonna. Yeah, she was the one that were anonymously, but she reports them to the police. And then I guess that's her way of getting in because then they'll be like, "Oh, like we got in trouble, like we almost got caught. Someone reported us for asking you to buy alcohol." And she's like, "Well, that's okay. Like I'll buy it, but like you have to come to my house
yeah,
and
you got to
drink it
drink at my
here so
house.
like if you drink it at my house, you won't get caught." I guess is how she.
Wild
That's
movie.
crazy. And I just love her job description is just Sue Ann, like a veterinary technician. You're like, she's just a vet tech. She's not someone's neighbor. She's not like related to anybody. She's just some random like vet tech.
I feel like there's some reveal. I gotta watch it again though because I feel like there's some reveal at the end that she's like knows something or
Yes.
someone or I feel like I don't know.
Oh, one of the kids dies. I do remember that.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Do you remember which one?
It says Ben. And
Ben.
yes, and there's the house fire. Remember that?
Oh
Now that
yeah.
I'm reading it.
Well,
So
Ben is listed as Luke Evans, so he's one of the adults. So I
yes,
don't know
so
if he's
it's
somebody's
Ben's
dad.
it's yeah, one of the dads. And I think now that you're saying it's one of the dads, I
Yeah.
think he rejected her. Yeah. So it says Ben went to high school with Ma. Um and then
Oh.
he invites her out to drinks after work because he dropped his cat off, or yeah, his cat off to the vet office where she works. Invited her out to
Right.
drink. And then,
Is that the connection and one of his kids?
yes, and then he says at the
Okay.
bar, Ben confronts Ma and asks why she has a tracking device on her son and why her son
Mm,
has been at her house. And
okay.
Ben warns Sue to stay away from his son Andy. And the flashback reveals that Sue Ann had a crush on Ben, who deceived who was deceived into performing oral sex on a boy she thought was Ben. Ben had gone
Mm,
to school to witness the assault, including his current girlfriend. Um, and Sue never recovered from the trauma.
damn.
So she was obviously assaulted and then never got out of the trauma. So then, and it happens all the time, you know,
Yeah.
you don't ever recover from it. And so you take it out on other people. So she must have probably been walking by the school for whatever reason and saw Andy, Ben's son, and like said, "Oh, that's got to be his
Yeah,
son."
so it was
So it was
a
like yeah,
revenge plot the whole time.
yep. And
Oh,
then
okay.
at the end,
I knew there was
yes,
something
I
like
couldn't.
why she
Yes,
did what she did.
yep,
Like it wasn't just like like I knew she was a crazy character, but I knew there was like some type of like traumatic thing in there.
yes. And then she cuts. It
Damn.
says, and she cuts off Ben's dick.
Oh my God.
Um, she
Damn.
says she runs over Mercedes with her truck, which I think is Ben's girlfriend. Sue
Mhm.
kills her boss, um, draws blood from Maggie's dog Louie, and then lures Ben into her house where she knocks him out. And he wakes up naked and is tied to the bed with a towel over his groin. That's when she holds his dick and basically chops it off, um,
Mm,
or
God.
threatens to cut it off, but changes
Mm.
her mind. And then she compares him to a dog, and then slashes his wrist. That's what you were mentioning earlier. And then leaves him
Oh,
to bleed
okay.
out and die. And then Maggie
Dang.
tells her mother the truth about Sue Ann and everything that was happening. And then it says at the end, um, like she sets her house on fire. And then the group,
Yeah, I remember the
yes,
fire and everything at the end.
yeah, and the group runs out as Sue Ann walks upstairs and lies beside Ben's corpse as the house is burning.
Crazy movie.
What? Like
Crazy,
who?
crazy, crazy movie.
And
Crazy, crazy
And so it
movie.
says Ma came together as a result of Taylor, who's the director, I think, or producer.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
Tate Taylor's the
yes.
director.
Um, so it says it came together as a result of Taylor's desire to direct a film about, in air quotes, something fucked up. Yep.
Boy, did you achieve it, buddy. Boy, did you
Jesus
achieve it.
Christ. And I always wonder who the hell thinks of something like this?
Yeah.
Like you say in air quotes, something fucked up. Like, yeah, yeah. But even if you tell me to think of something fucked up, I would have never even gotten that far.
Mhm.
Like my worst thing, you know, for something that's fucked up is like minor compared to this.
Yeah. Ah, it's just that's why some people are writers,
And
you
it
know?
says, I think it says produced by the same people that made Get Out.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, so
that was fucked up just in different ways.
one of the producers has produced a Paranormal Activity, Insidious, Ouija, So, yeah,
All right.
Jesus. Okay.
Dang, Ma.
But it is a great movie to watch. But
Oh yeah, it's
I haven't seen it in so long. So seeing it again or like hearing it again out loud and seeing the plot, I'm like, Jesus Christ.
wild.
Mm-mm. No. But
Oh
okay,
man.
so here is I feel like
What's
you'll
your
get
last movie?
and I feel like you'll get this one
Okay.
just based on the description. Um a couple gets a dog who's really naughty and wrecks everything. The dog is cute but also kind of annoying, and they spend the whole movie cleaning up after it. The dog grows old and then everyone gets sad because it dies. People cry, but it's just a dog. So it's kind of weird that everyone's so upset. The movie's mostly about the dog causing chaos and then people being emotional about it.
Oh, I know exactly. Is that Marley and me?
Yes. Oh, first
I'm
off,
mad at you. I'm mad at ChatGPT for saying it's just a dog. Excuse
I
me.
know. I read that and I was like, oh no,
That's
absolutely not.
rude. That's
And I love how
rude. That's rude, GPT. This is right
that's
there.
rude GPT. And I
So
love,
it's just ChatGPT's rude
yes.
GPT.
And of course, Wikipedia. Marley and Me is a 2008 American comedy drama. Excuse me?
Boy, yeah, boy, is it.
Comedy? I mean, I guess parts of it are funny because he's
Well,
like a dog.
drama.
But the comedy
This is
part?
comedy drama.
Comedy drama. Like, I
I
get the
don't know.
drama.
Like it wasn't that. It wasn't
I
funny.
mean, I
So I don't
guess the
know.
whole like the dogs wrecking the furniture aspect could be I don't know. I guess that could be perceived as funny, but like no, the dog dies. No.
Yeah, like what the hell?
But you do have
Mm,
yeah, I have a pretty good cast. Owen Wilson, Jennifer Aniston,
true.
Eric Dane's in it, and I feel like he's who's Eric? Oh, Eric Dane. Yeah, he was in Grey's Anatomy
Mhm.
as McSteamy.
I know him even more from just because like after you watch Euphoria is such a wild show and he was in it. So after I had watched him in Euphoria, I just specifically knew him from that.
Yes.
If you want another
I
wild show to watch, that's definitely the one.
yes.
But I know him more from that even more. Like I literally forgot that he was in Grey's Anatomy
Yep.
after watching
Yeah,
Euphoria.
I he dies in Grey's Anatomy, spoiler, sorry. But he dies in Grey's
It's
Anatomy and
okay. It's been out for a very long time. It's
yeah.
okay.
Oh, that's true. But
I know I haven't seen all of Grey's Anatomy, but I literally know all of the deaths because I literally just spoiled it for myself and
yes.
Googled it.
After his character dies and another character that he was in love with dies,
Is it
obviously
Lexi?
Lexi, yeah.
Is it Lexi? Okay.
Yeah. He falls in love with Lexi and he's much older than she is, whatever, age gap. But they both die and both actors wanted to leave the show. So it
Mm,
seems like a lot of times Shonda Rhimes would just kill off people that
mhm.
wanted to leave. And so after they died, and I actually really liked them, um, but after they died, it just got worse. Like I don't know. I mean, most people probably wouldn't agree, but yeah, after that, Grey's Anatomy just went downhill. I couldn't.
I mean, I saw that George died and then I stopped watching.
Um, George's death got me.
Yeah,
Um,
that's when I was like, yeah, no.
yep,
And then I realized like the show was just like, 'cause obviously it's set in a medical setting, so there's so much. I mean, obviously, I know there's things that are outlandish in it that would
yes,
never happen, like the whole thing with the bomb, and there's a
oh yeah,
plane crash, and there's you know what I mean? Like it's
hmm
an outlandish show, but I stopped watching it because I was like, the show is just like depressing me.
yes,
Like
and
every,
obviously, yeah, it is a hospital show, so it's going to be depressing. But like,
yeah, yeah, but that's why I stopped watching it. I was just
yes,
same reason why I stopped watching. I tried to watch the show 13 Reasons Why, and it's the same reason. I was like, hey,
after that one scene,
hey, I just no, I got through like a season and a half of
yes,
13 Reasons Why, and it was the same thing. I was like, "Hey, wait, I'm watching these shows for entertainment and I'm not being entertained anymore. I'm just
yes,
being sad." It's just
yeah,
sad. So I'm like, "No."
yeah, yeah.
Ugh.
There's so many shows that when certain characters die, it's like the main character. Like The Walking Dead
Mhm.
is like that, and they
Yeah.
killed off all these great people. And then the main character wanted to, I think the actor wanted to leave. So they killed him off, and I'm like, okay. I mean, you are in a zombie apocalypse, so like his death, like his character dying is not a problem because like can't live forever anyway. But like,
Right.
why keep making a show when the whole point of the show is this character?
Right.
So like Grey's Anatomy, I'm pretty sure is like that too,
Hmm.
where I think Ellen Pompeo this year, I think, decided not to be in it anymore. I
And
I could
the
be wrong.
title is, but that's crazy because the title is Grey's Anatomy
Yes.
after Meredith Grey.
And then the
So,
hospital, technically the hospital is not named after her. It's named after Lexi and Mark. But it was
oh, okay.
I forget what the hospital's name was, but after they both died, they got it renamed and it's like um
Seattle Grace Mercy.
let's
Well,
see. Well, it was Seattle
it was
Grace.
called Seattle Grace Mercy West Hospital is
Yes.
what it says
So it was
in
Seattle
Google.
Grace, and then they merged with Mercy West, and then it was
Oh.
that. And then when Lexi died and Mark died, then it was a Sloan Gray Memorial Hospital. Um,
Oh.
so they,
Hmm.
which I don't know if you can do or not, but I guess you can.
Hmm. Hmm.
But Marley and Me is one of those movies that I get up to the point where I know Marley's old, and
Mhm.
then I stop watching.
Yeah,
Either I
this
stop
is a
watching or
movie
I
that
skip it.
I've
Yeah.
definitely. Right, right. This is a movie that I've honestly only seen it once because it traumatized me so much and I didn't
Yes.
watch it ever
Maybe watched it
again.
2 or 3 times. It's just so sad. I can't.
Mhm. They didn't have to do all that, but they did.
No.
Well, I think it was based on a book, I wanna say.
Yes. Yeah.
But still, goddamn.
Yes. Yeah. It
Goddamn.
says after a year, there's into a after a year he grows into a big dog, and soon proves to be incorrigible, forcing John and
Mhm.
Jenny to enroll him in dog obedience program run by a woman named whatever. Unfortunately, Marley refuses to obey commands, and when she blows her whistle, he tackles her and humps her leg, prompting her to kick him out of her class. When they try to make Marley get nude, to take Marley to get neutered, he tried to escape the car onto a busy road, almost getting him roadkilled.
Oh, no.
First of all, what kind of car are you driving that he's getting out of?
Well, it's probably like that whole thing when people put dogs in car. Like it kind of gets on my nerves when I mean, unless you know that your dog won't jump out, like
Yes,
for sure, like people are just leaving like windows down.
yes. And that's
You
probably
know what I
what
mean?
they
Like,
did. Will I watch this movie again? Probably not. To see. But yeah, I see all the time. It's like their dog's in the front seat. Fine, they shouldn't be in the front seat, but whatever. Their dog's in the front seat, but the window's down. And I'm like, okay, your dog's enjoying themselves. Their head's out the window. They're probably not going to do anything. But like, if you know you have a dog that's going to potentially jump out and almost get killed, maybe don't have your windows down.
right? You would think,
Yes.
but
Yeah. I just
common sense is not that common,
no.
unfortunately.
And I forget what kind of dog it is. Was it?
Isn't it like a lab or like a golden
I think
retriever?
so. And
One of those.
they're very smart dogs. So
I believe it.
I think their traits are that they're very smart. Um, Gentle and affectionate nature. Um, Considered a working dog, and registration is subject to successful completion of a working trial. So it seems like they're just very smart and very loyal and very. I mean, that they are energetic, but you could train that dog. You could have trained him. And also, him not being neuter is probably another reason why he's the way he is. So,
Woulda,
but
coulda, shoulda. No.
yeah, yeah, he's a lab retriever. So
Oh.
yellow lab. I was trying to find because some of the descriptions on ChatGPT, even though we did like the bad AI descriptions, they were still so
Mhm.
obvious sometimes. And so I was like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna try and find one that maybe would throw you off. But even Scream, I was like, that's the closest I'm gonna get.
Mhm. It's alright. It was fun. It
Yes.
was a fun concept.
And I gotta see. No memories today. Is there a way to see other memories? Like
That's
old
literally what I
memories?
was trying to look at. The only one that I have is well, it's not like a status or anything. It was a you liked this picture, so I'm pretty sure you're aware of it. But in 2016, I attempted to audition for The Voice.
Yes. Oh, throwback. And
Yeah.
you didn't make, well, not to bring up bad news, you didn't make
Yeah.
it. But like
I
you
mean,
didn't did you make it past like the initial thing or no? I can't remember.
no, I think it was yeah, they just said like, "Oh, well, thank you." Like they didn't
Yes.
pick me. So no.
But
But
you also said they didn't pick people that were like really good either, right? There were some people
yeah,
that you
because
yeah.
the whole thing about like I heard people that were singing like really good that didn't get in, so it's not like it's
Yes.
like I didn't get in. I was too good for them. No, like
And you're like,
no, but it's like but you realize later on that they and I've seen this from like people talking about like how the audition process goes and like I've number one, you're not going right with the judges, like you're obviously
yeah.
just with like a producer and then you go to the place with the judges, but they're picking people that make quote unquote good TV. So they'll pick people that are both good and not good
Yes.
because they just want good TV. That's
Yes.
basically what it comes down to.
Yes. And I do
Which is why in like American Idol and stuff, you figure because when they anybody that's at the point with the judges, they've already auditioned. Like that's not the first time that they've auditioned. There's time like a time before that they audition. I'm pretty
yes.
sure, and then they would have the other audition where they would get on TV, and then you would wonder, like, how did all these people get on this show, like, if they're, like, bad? And then it's like, again, they put people through that they because they wanna draw
Yes.
ratings to the show.
So it's like if you have everyone that's just good, then it's like no point in watch. I mean, there is a point because you want to see good
Right,
competition.
but some people watch it I mean, I remember I used to just watch American Idol to see the bad auditions, honestly.
It would,
Like, they were
yes, and I
funny. They
still
were
go
funny.
back sometimes to watch those auditions.
What was the one that we used to always watch? It was for, like, the X Factor or something?
Yes, so there
And
was
then
the
it's
X.
you know what I'm talking about? It was the guy that
Yes. Um.
oh, he was singing Hallelujah, wasn't
Mhm.
he? And he was like, "The maid live." Like, do you remember
Yes,
what
yes, and then Sharon
picture?
Osbourne was on it, and just like you could tell she was struggling so hard not to laugh.
I found it. J Star. That's what
J
it was. J
Star,
Star's
but J Star,
unforgettable audition.
yes, and
It was the X Factor UK.
yep, J Star, and his last name, I don't know if it's real or like his stage name, but it's J Star Valentine. That was what it
Mhm.
was.
Yeah, and this was
Um,
the UK version of the X
yes.
Factor.
And he basically, and I love the confidence though, because he would
Uh-huh.
say things like, "I'm already a star. I got this," and a lot of people do that. Like the
Mhm.
ones that know they're good, or like the ones that have a really good voice, are always the ones that are like humble. I feel like in
Mhm.
these auditions, they're not outwardly like, "I'm the best. I got this." They're just kind of like,
Right, right,
"Yeah,
and then it surprises you.
yeah, I sing in my bedroom, or sometimes I sing, I'll go on stage at my local club and like or bar and sing, but like I don't really do much else." And then they have like the best voice. But then the people that are
Mhm.
overly confident are people like him. So funny
Mhm.
because you think, okay, well, if you got the chops, then if you're saying you're this good, but his do
But
it
if
again.
anybody's
His
listening to this
impression,
and you haven't if you haven't seen this video, it's very good.
yes,
He
Jace,
just
yeah,
he just keep he it's so bad because he, like, just keeps going, like, I don't know what he's, like, moving his mouth, almost, like, contorting, like, and
yes,
just going up and down with the way he's saying.
yes. It's so fun. And then there's the video, um, and I don't know the whole clip because I've never seen it, but I've seen or the whole video, but I've seen the clip. Um, Maybe it's American Idol or another X Factor one. But remember the girl that's like she says she's like part wolf.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
For some reason, I was thinking of the girl that was like, "I'm a." This is also, I think, American Idol, but she was like, I'm a ninja" or something, and she's
yes,
like kicking and has like a sword.
yes,
I'm pretty sure that was American Idol.
yes. And then the one from American Idol where it's she's like the white woman with the short blonde hair, and like I just remember her
God, there
obviously.
was probably so many.
Yes, but I just remember like she obviously thought she was good. She
Uh-huh.
wasn't, and so Simon's not nice about it, and so he was not having it, and I
He's
think
like,
she
that was not good.
yes, and she just went off on him. I think, and was just basically saying they don't know what they're talking about.
Simon somehow has been a guest on just about every single judge show. Like, I'm thinking about it now. He got his way on to, he was on X Factor,
Yes, yes,
UK and US, American Idol. He got on to America's Got Talent. What show about like judging was he not on? The Voice is
yes,
probably like the
The
only
Voice,
one
but
that
because the
he's
only
on.
reason he's not on The Voice is because it's actual like artists taking on
Yeah,
people.
right.
Otherwise, he probably would have been on that too if it wasn't for that reason.
Because I think he did like the funding or he like produced like all of those shows. I think they're all different shows, but I'm pretty sure later on people found out that they were all under like the same
Yes.
like
Yeah.
production company or something.
Yeah.
I want to say.
Yes. And then do you remember on
Uh,
um X Factor, the US X Factor? Um it was when Britney Spears was a judge and Demi Lovato was also a judge. And that one guy that was trying to call out Demi and like
oh,
say
for the auto for
for the
saying about
auto
auto
tune,
tune.
and she kept saying like I don't use auto tune, and he kept saying like how awful she was, and she was like I make more than you, like or whatever. I can't remember her comeback, but whatever it was, he was trying so hard to like get her down, and she was just like I don't care.
And she's like, I'm judging you on a competition show that you're not gonna get paid.
Yes,
But that guy was like, I'm just gonna get my 15 minutes of fame.
yeah, yep. And then I do wonder like, I get why, because it's good TV. Because 'cause you're like, "Oh,
Hmm.
they're yelling at Demi Lovato, they're yelling at a judge, like, he's not gonna get through if he probably thinks he's still gonna get through, but not with that attitude." But, like, you are missing, like, so many talented people because you're picking people that can't sing or they're just gonna fight
Yeah,
with everybody. But it is good TV.
insane.
I just it's so funny. I found in my photos, I did find a Facebook status.
Okay,
So
hear it.
14 years ago, November 10th, 2010. Eh, school.
2010 was 14 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, and it just
I'm
says,
sorry,
oh,
I totally like
yes.
dissociated when you
No,
said that
because it's the,
2010 was
yeah,
14 years
yeah,
ago.
yeah. And it literally just says,
Same.
school.
School? Just
Yeah, it just
school.
says, school.
That's another one. It's like, thanks for the update.
Thanks for the update. Got one like from one of my classmates that I never talked to. Um, but 2010, we were
What do you
sophomores,
what do you,
right? So,
what do you got planned for today? School.
school. Yeah, and
Oh
there was a
man.
few of those sprinkled that I've seen. It's just like, homework. Like, oh, I have off tomorrow because the snow. No one cares. But that's the thing. It's like no one cares, and why are we making these statuses as if we're gonna get all of these likes?
Hey,
Or maybe we weren't doing it to get the likes. Maybe we just really was like, Facebook
I think it
was.
was just like Facebook was it was so new.
It
It was
was
just like
new
the, you know what I mean? Like it's just like
because I think when did it come out? Well, it came out a long time ago. Um, but I got Facebook, I think, the end of my freshman year of high school. But it came out, yeah, 2005 it came out. Or
Yeah.
2004, 2005.
I
But
think I got Facebook probably around like my when I was in like eighth grade. So I want to say like maybe like 2008, 2009,
yeah, so I
something
think I
like that.
got it in 2009, I think,
Yeah.
or maybe the early 2010s. Like I
Hmm.
think I was a freshman in high school when I got it. Um, but yeah, it was so new, I guess, that it wasn't so much about getting the likes, and I didn't have any friends anyway, so I wasn't gonna get any. But like, um, just
It was
see, it
just a new thing.
was just a
It was
new
just a
thing
new
to be
thing.
able to like send out something and everyone sees it, and it's like really cool. And that's why I think I shared this on the pod once, but when I got my Xbox and I
Hmm.
did a status from my Xbox and it posted it to Facebook, and I was like, this like Facebook from my Xbox is so cool.
Yeah, I remember.
Hey, sure.
Like new things.
Yeah, and so obviously
Oh
it's
man.
owned by Meta. It's a random fact, but it's owned by Meta. They're the same people that own Instagram, Threads, and they own WhatsApp, which I didn't know.
Yep.
But
Yep. And for some reason they don't feel the need to have fact checkers anymore. Thanks, Zuckerberg.
thanks.
Hmm.
Love that.
Well, he made his priorities very clear this year
Oh
when
yeah.
seen at the inauguration, right there behind you know who, the
Mhm.
orange. You know, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
call him the
The
orange,
orange, the Oompa Loompa,
the annoying orange.
the
You remember
annoying.
that?
Oh,
No, somebody should make a meme. Remember the annoying orange? This is him now. Feel old yet? And it's just a picture of him.
you need to make that meme.
I probably will.
Yes,
I'll be a part of this.
I couldn't stand the annoying orange.
Still
Maybe
can't.
that's.
No.
I guess that's the whole point. But like, it was not funny to
Well,
me.
yeah, it was like that old like I know we always talk about like nostalgic things on that show. It was that era of YouTube where it was
Yep.
like remember like Fred,
I
like it
was
was
about
like
to
oh
say
it's
that it was
funny
during
because it
that
was
time
anno-
with Fred and his squeaky,
like it was
annoying
like things on
voice.
YouTube were
Yep.
like annoying. Yeah, it was like a brand of like YouTube comedy. It was just like things
Yes.
that were purposefully annoying.
Yes. And with Fred, he was on iCarly, which was like big at that time. But then he had a
Hmm.
somehow he managed to make a whole movie. Um, but his dad in the Fred movie was John Cena.
Now that's pretty funny.
And
That
so
I
like
didn't
it
know.
makes me wonder how these people are getting if you get paid enough, well John Cena probably doesn't care. Given his Instagram, he'll probably do anything you ask him. And I don't think he'll
I mean,
care like
John Cena's made a full turn from being a pro wrestler to
being a
being in some
meme.
of like the funniest
Yes.
movies I've ever
Yes.
seen. Like, he's
And
just unhinged.
but I remember like that kind of era where like how are these YouTubers getting so many famous people in things? Like there was one
Hmm.
YouTuber from the group O2L
Oh yeah,
that he made music.
I haven't heard that in years.
Yes, and I follow some of them
Not to
still.
sound like an old lady, I haven't heard that
Two
in
of them,
years.
two of them have kids. I mean, they're our age, so it's not surprising.
Yeah,
But like
yeah. No, it's that meme like,
watching, yeah,
oh my god, she's having kids. Oh my god, she's a teen mom. No, actually, we're just in our 30s now.
yes, yep. And so the one made the music back then, and somehow he got Snoop Dogg on one of his songs. I'm like, oh, okay,
Of course,
yes,
crazy,
yes.
crazy, crazy, crazy.
I can't
Well,
believe,
hi.
I just can't believe it's almost March. Fingers crossed for a good year.
I can't believe it's another. I just keep thinking of more memes. I can't believe it's almost March. Like
Yes,
I can't believe it's not.
yes,
You're hearing me form memes on the pod as we speak.
yes.
Trust the process. Yeah.
Trust the process.
Well, hey, we got a lot of socials that you can follow us on.
Oh,
If
yes,
you haven't, if you can't get enough of us, our wonderful little voices, you can also
yes.
follow our socials. We have what do we have? We have Instagram, we have
And
TikTok. Follow us on there while it's still a thing.
yes,
We also have
yes.
Blue Sky. We have YouTube.
Tube
What else we got?
and Spotify.
That's it.
Well, and then
Oh,
if you want to
we'll
listen to
obviously
us,
check us
yeah,
out.
Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
Yes. And let me see
All
our
right.
stats. Let me see our stats because I like going back on and seeing. Because remember, we had that 2% in Mexico for a while.
Hey.
So let me see. The analytics don't lie. Audience, here you go. United States. Oh, Mexico's 1.1% now. But right under Mexico is Thailand. So, yes. But
That's the
we're.
location of the most recent another show that I can't recommend enough if you want something wild. There's a show on HBO called The White Lotus, and the most recent season takes place in Thailand, so that's
Oh,
interesting.
I think I saw like 1 or 2 episodes.
It's insane.
Yes.
It's insane,
And
to
then,
say the least.
which is interesting because on the website to see like your Spotify and all that, obviously it says Spotify is like 51%, and then Apple Podcasts is like 25%, and some people listen to us, I guess just on their browser somewhere. But you
Hmm.
can click on just Spotify and see the numbers. And so in the US on Spotify, it's 94.1%. Guess what country is 5.9%?
Hmm.
Just on
Is it
Spotify.
in? Is it somewhere in Europe?
Yes.
Hmm. Is it Great Britain or
No.
United Kingdom or no? Okay.
It
Hmm.
is near the Netherlands,
Near the Netherlands.
near
Not me
Germany.
having, not me, not me being so bad at geography.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think.
it's near Germany.
Okay.
It's similar to Germany. And the flag's also similar to Germany's flag, but it's like
Near
flipped.
Germany.
Yeah, and you know Germany's flag with the black,
Yes.
right? Yeah, it's Germany's flag, but like flipped.
Not me being very bad at geography.
What if I
I'm like,
said, what if I said
is it
Brussels?
Belgium? No,
Yes,
no.
yeah,
It's Belgium. There
yeah.
we go.
We have 5.9% listeners on Spotify from Belgium. That's a
All
large,
right.
like, yeah,
All right. Shout out to the Belgian listeners.
yes.
That's wild.
That's wild. Like when you, and then most people listen to us on Android and then iPhone and then Mac, Windows, but mainly Android.
Hmm. How about that?
Yep.
Maybe that's the people from Belgium. I don't know.
Yes.
Is Android? To let us know. Is Android big in
Belgium.
Belgium? When
Yes. Apparently we have no male listeners.
very hmm,
That's fine.
interesting. I gotta talk to my fiance about
I
this.
know. Get him to like at least play it in the background, give us,
You got some sliding to do.
yes. Like, so I was looking at our analytics and it says we have no men. So either you
No,
don't listen to
no,
our
just
podcast or you have some explaining to do.
I come in with the stats on my phone. I just think it's funny how
I just think it's funny how it says no men. And he's like, what about that? I'm not a man.
what a way to find out.
What a way to find out your fiance's not a man.
Oh man. For lack of a better word.
Yeah, yes.
Ah,
Anyway,
we'll check out our socials.
yes.
Shout out to our
Belgians.
international
Yes.
audience.
We love you. You know?
Yes. Appreciate you.
Yes.
And we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.